morning, good afternoon, and a very good evening to you, the good and people of the tube. Hope you're well today, hope you're feeling grand, and all is well in your world. Hello there, everybody. Today's vid, everybody, we are revisiting the red devil with a silver head that is called the Dunlop Rotovibe. I reviewed this a long time ago, and I always wanted to come back to it at some point and like do a, just talk about it again. There's also a couple of things I want to talk about in today's vid that I didn't talk about in the initial vid. So, the Rotovibe, what is it? It's basically Dunlop's idea of a univibe, sorry. And this is kind of like a, it's I suppose it's a, late 80s, I think it was, early 90s pedal. I first saw this when I saw Mike McCready using it at Pink Pop Festival in 1992 with Pearl Jam, and that was the first time I'd seen one, because I saw Eddie's foot on it, and I noticed it was next to his wah-wah pedal and his volume pedal, and I was like, what is that? So I did a bit of research and found out it was called the Rotovibe that he used. So I immediately wanted one, and back then they were a lot cheaper than they are now. They've just skyrocketed in price. This isn't my original one either. This is the second ever Rotovibe I had. I sold my first one, and I'll tell you why in a sec. So I immediately basically kind of got one, and it cost me 60 quid at the time. My first one was 60 quid, brand new. And when I got it, I was just like obsessed with it, and I still am obsessed with these pedals. Not only do they look so cool, with the red bottom and the chrome top, and they sound unreal. They're a really awesome univibe pedal, and they're really their own univibe. You know what I mean? They're not. I wouldn't say they're a direct copy of the Jimi Hendrix univibe, the initial univibe. But they're definitely their own thing. But I associate this pedal more with Mike McCready than I do Jimi Hendrix, if that makes any sense. And later on, we'll do a comparison between what I associate the Jimi Hendrix univibe to be, using the Katana's inbuilt univibe, and we'll do kind of a bit of a mini shootout between the Katana's inbuilt univibe, which I class as Jimi Hendrix univibe, and the Mike McCready univibe, which I class as the Rotovibe. Other well-known players who use the Rotovibe are Jerry Cantrell. Jerry uses this thing, but Jerry normally just has it kind of like set. For songs like Goddamn, he uses it for that. Zakk Wylde as well is a big user of Rotovibe. They're just a wicked pedal. So my first one, when I got my first one, like I said, it was on my board in this position for years and years and years. Then I bought this one second hand from Old Hat, believe it or not. This guy had bought it in and he didn't like it, and it sounded weak and weedy and he didn't like it. And being a obsessive I want two of everything because I want a backup person, I bought it, and this one cost me £40. Yeah, 40 quid. This one cost me 40 quid in the box. There was no damage to it or anything like that. It was just like, it was just because it was second hand. Back then when I bought it, which would have been 2008, I'm guessing. Yeah, it'd been about, no, couldn't have been 2008. 2010, sorry, I do apologise. 2010 I bought this one. And anyway, yeah, I bought this one home. I tried it in the shop and it sounded okay, but it sounded weak. And I brought it home and I compared it to my other one, and I was like, that's really, really weak. Yeah, this one had no power in its boom, 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 boom kind of sound. And I was like, well, that's not very good. So I decided to take it apart, to find out what the deal is. Well, take it apart, take the back panel off. That's about as far as I went. And I realised inside, and I will show you this in a minute, people of the tube, in a bit later on. Be the last thing I'll show you today. Inside the the Rotovibe, sorry. I will be constantly calling it a univibe and a Rotovibe, so just bear with me. Inside there are two little dials you can turn with a flathead screwdriver and make it sound more intense and differ basically the rate of this thing to be more powerful. So I started messing around with it, and I got this to sound better than my first one. All of a sudden, this one replaced my first Rotovibe, and this one's been there ever since. I actually sold my first one, which is a silly thing. I wish I hadn't sold it. because I kind of wish I just wish I'd kept it now, but such is life. But this one sounded infinitely better than my first one because I tweaked it internally and I just kind of cranked it. I have no idea where they're set to. I have not had the back of this thing since, but I will take it off to show you today at the end of the video. So, further ado, let's talk a bit more about features quickly. Okay, so it's a Univibe, but it's also a vibrato pedal, and there is a button on the side, on the right side here, which you can't see, which basically, when it's in, it's Univibe. When it's out, it's vibrato. And vibrato to me sounds like Stevie Ray Vaughan's Cold Shot. That's what it sounds like to me. And then there's also a dial, a rotary dial at the top of the pedal, which is kind of like there. Again, you can't see it, but basically what that is, it's an intensity dial. You can roll it back to basically have like no effect, which is kind of pointless, or you can have it all the way forward and have the maximum amount of effect. I don't see the point in this dial whatsoever. It should just be set on 10 as a default, because that's the way you get the most out of the pedal. If you dial this thing back to half, this pedal you might as well not have, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean? You might as well just crank it to 10 and leave it there. There is no point having that dial anywhere other than all the way up. It just becomes pointless. The pedal becomes pointless. So that's it, everybody. That is it. That's the Dunlop Rotovibe. So what we're going to do now is I'm basically just going to another thing really quickly is another thing I really, really love is you can vary the speed of the pedal because it's obviously it's like an expression pedal. You can vary the speed of it. So all the way back is super slow. All the way forward is super fast. You saw me doing that in the intro jam to get different kind of like intensities. But I say, I associate this pedal with Mike McCready. This is my Mike McCready pedal. Hence, the intro jam today was inspired by a song we will not name. But yeah. So I'm gonna attempt to channel Mike McCready today more than Jimmy. But I will do Jimi Hendrix stuff as well because it's just impossible not to when you hear a Univibe. But so first thing we're gonna do, I'm going to show you the chorus mode, the Univibe mode. Just kind of like sweeping it, just like playing around. Then I'll switch over to vibrato mode and I'll show you the vibrato mode. Show you what that sounds like. And then what we'll do is we'll do a shootout between what I would class as a Jimi Hendrix Univibe, like I said, and the Mike McCready Univibe. And you can hear the difference between the two. Because there is a difference. It's not massive, but there is a difference. And then at the end of the vid, basically what I'll do is I'll take the back panel off and I'll show you where the two dials are you can tweak to make this thing sound better. If it sounds weak and weedy. And then that'll be that, ladies and gentlemen. So, so without further ado, let's get into Rotovibe land. I'm not going to film the guitar. I'm just going to film the pedal board so you can see how I'm manipulating you can see what pedals I'm turning on and off. And you can also see how I'm manipulating the foot plate, basically. So we're going to start off with the chorus mode, the Univibe mode, that mode, and then we'll go to vibrato afterwards. You'll see me turn down and change. You'll see me come down and change it. I'm not going to touch the intensity dial. That'll be on 10. Like I say, there is no point otherwise. And so let's get to it. Okay, so this is vibrato mode. Okie people, tube, there you go. That's the chorus mode and the vibrato mode. I don't think the vibrato mode it's cool. It's definitely wicked, but I reckon the chorus mode is definitely more kind of like, what's the word? More universally friendly is not the right words, but it's the only ones I can think of at this point in time. So, but it's wicked. This pedal is wicked. They're so good. They're so cool. They really are so cool. But they've definitely got their own thing. You know what I mean? I run it at the end of the chain, or is it the start of the chain? There. Basically, it goes from the guitar into the Rotovibe. I've always run it there. That's where I prefer to run it. If I put a fuzz on this side, the effect of the Univibe does become bigger, but I don't like it. It's very wishy-washy. It's like you're in a washing machine. It's like that. And it's more like a phaser, and I don't like it. I definitely found I prefer to run it guitar into the Rotovibe and then into a distortion or a fuzz. I did used to have a fuzz on this side, but I never used to enjoy it as much. It never really used to work, so I used to, but that's neither here nor there. But I definitely prefer to run it here. If I put it on the other side, it tends to get a bit wishy-washy, and I really don't like that. And I like the wah on that side as well. I think Mike McCready had it switched. I'm pretty sure Mike's signal chain was kind of into a Sans amp distortion. Then it went to his Rotovibe, and then to his wah pedal, and then to his guitar. And his volume pedal was split, but the volume pedal was technically, Mike's Pearl Jam 10 pedal board is actually really bizarre to look at, because he's got, like I say, he's got a Sans amp distortion pedal, then a Ernie Ball pan pot volume pedal, Rotovibe, and then a wah pedal. It's really strange. It's like Expression Pedal Central. It's really, really weird, but it's super cool, and I love it. But like I say, this pedal really just screams Mike McCready to me. I mean, I always associate the Jimi Hendrix. Univibe is Jimi Hendrix. He's the first person to use it. He was the guy who wanted a Leslie speaker kind of simulator, and this is basically what came. It was definitely its own thing. It wasn't a Leslie speaker. It became its own thing. And you can hear Jimmy use it to its fullest in like Woodstock and Machine Gun especially. Machine Gun is unreal use of a Univibe. It's such a powerful weapon in Jimmy's arsenal when it comes down to when it came to Machine Gun. That's the thing. You can't really do Machine Gun without a Univibe of some kind. You really need that sound. It's really important. So that's the chorus mode. You can see me manipulate it. I hope you like my amazing blue socks. It's just ridiculously versatile. And I love the fact that it's all in one thing. So I remember there was a Univibe that came out years and years ago. I don't remember who made it, but it was kind of like there was the Univibe kind of unit, and then there was an expression pedal. And that's the way Jimmy's worked as well. Jimmy's was the unit that gave you the effect, and then an expression pedal, an external expression pedal off that to control the rate of the pedal. I like the fact that the Rotovibe is all enclosed in one unit, and it's all neat and tidy, and it just works treat. You know what I mean? I like the fact it's like that. You don't have to have another pedal, so what you see is what you get. It takes up the same real estate as like a wah pedal, and it's just built like a brick. It's just a wicked pedal. So cool. And they just sound wicked. They definitely are a Univibe, but they're definitely their own brand of a Univibe. I hope that makes some kind of sense. Hopefully this next example I'll be able to show you what I mean. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to flip-flop between what I would class as more Jimi Hendrix kind of Univibe, and the Mike McCready style Univibe. So, cheers. So let's do that. So let's dive into. Oh, by the way, everybody, today I'm using my Hondo 2 70 Strat copy. Just drawn this way today. It was like, play me, play me. So I'm playing that today. So that's the guitar we're using. So what you'll hear next is you'll hear the Rotovibe first in the chorus mode, so the Jimi Hendrix, Mike McCready mode, not vibrato mode, with just the golden plexi on. And then after that, golden plexi on, and then I kick the DS2 on, so you'll hear both a cleanish kind of sound, and then a kind of full out kind of lead tone with the Rotovibe. I'll set the speed and leave it. I won't manipulate it. I'll just probably put it like there and leave it, just so it's fair on the other Univibe, which I can't manipulate just at this point in time. And then I'll turn this one off, and we'll go to the Univibe I've set up in the Boss Katana Artist, which is the amp we're using today, everybody. So without further ado, I'm going to leave the camera where it is, and first thing you'll hear is the Dunlop, then you'll hear the Katana's own Univibe. So let's go. Actually, I've just changed my mind. I'm just going to do it on the just with the golden plexi on. I think you can hear it a bit better. I'm not going to muddle it actually with distortion. I'm just going to leave it with just the golden plexi on. So Rotovibe, golden plexi, and then golden plexi and Univibe. So. Okie there you go. That's the difference between the two. What I was doing there is I was actually bypassing the pedal board, and I was for the Jimi Hendrix kind of Univibe, I was just using the Katana. I basically got channel 3 set up as like my Jimi Hendrix sound, which is basically this. I wanted to hear, to hear the actual difference between the two. The Jimi Hendrix Univibe, I think, has got more intensity. It's powerfuler. The Rotovibe is a bit more not subdued, that's not the right word, but kind of like it's a little bit calmer. You know what I mean? It's not as got it's not got as much kind of whoosh to it, this one, as the actual Univibe kind of Jimi Hendrix kind of Univibe kind of thing. But they still sound wicked. I would also say this one's darker. I would say the Jimi Hendrix one's a brighter Univibe kind of sound. The Rotovibe's definitely a darker Univibe sound. But anyway, for what that's worth, I know it's not scientific or anything, but hopefully, you know, hope you can hear the difference between the two. Because Univibe's normally like that one, like the Katana, and the Rotovibe is definitely its own thing. It's a lot warmer and rounder and darker, I would say, definitely. So, that's as far as what I kind of take it with sounds. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take it off the board. I'm going to take the back panel off, and I'm going to show you where you can tweak it. If you've got one of these things, or if you planning on getting one of these things, or you've got one that doesn't quite sound right, I'll show you in the back where you can kind of tweak it. I don't know where mine's set. I don't know if it's going to be obvious where it's set. And also the problem is the camera doesn't zoom when I get really close. So unfortunately I'm going to have to kind of show you from a distance as best I can. But so the next thing you'll see is the Rotovibe's guts, basically. It's insides. So so let me take the back panel off and I'll be back, people of the tube. Alright, dokie, people of the tube. Here is the insides of the Rotovibe. And my Rotovibe, sorry, one sec, is I left the back panel over here because I'm an idiot and I don't plan ahead. My one is the JD4S, and I'd labelled it Roto 2, but it wasn't. It became Roto 1, and then it became Roto Only 1. So anyway, that's the back panel. Really dusty. I need to clean it. Anyway, so here you can see these two dials. These are the ones that you need to manipulate to make this pedal sound better, and it's actually really cool because they're arrowed. So as you're looking at it this way on, I'll tell you how these are set. So, and again, this took hours. And also, by the way, I will mention one thing. Is when you get the Rotovibe, maybe I should put my hand over here. Oh, where's my... I will use a pointer. So when you get a Rotovibe, these two dials here, I do apologise about the blurring. These two dials here, these little internal things, they'll be covered in glue. And you'll have to remove the glue. It's kind of like... It's just normal kind of like glue gun glue, you know, it's just like a blob of glue. But you just basically just like, you know, flick it off. You just have to basically break it off. It's very easy to do. But bear that in mind. Let's start with the bottom one. So the bottom one here, I have no idea what part of the pedal these manipulate. But this is how I've got them set. So they are arrowed, and I don't know how well you'll be able to see that. If I get in really close quick. I know, that is the only thing about this camera I don't like, is it doesn't focus, and the fisheye lens gets a bit annoying sometimes. It's really cool for wide angle, I love wide angle, but it just gets a bit annoying sometimes when you want to do close-up stuff. Anyway, so, can I come around here? It might be a bit clearer. Okay, so we'll start with this one. So, pedal in this orientation. So basically, like the switch is up here. This is kind of like heel down, that's toe down. So this top one here, I have that set at basically 11 o'clock. So it's in this alignment where the screwdriver is. So it kind of like goes in, that one's set at 11 o'clock basically. It's set at like that angle. So that on her, grief, this is so annoying. I wish it would just focus. So that one is set at 11 o'clock. This one here, the bottom one, that's set at 4 o'clock. So basically, 3 o'clock is kind of like straight across. This one is literally just a little bit down at 4 o'clock. So that's 4 o'clock, that's 11 o'clock. So that's how I've got these two set. And it just made them, it just made this pedal just come alive. I have no idea where they were set initially. It was years ago I did this. But that's where I have this thing set. And you can tweak and kind of tweeze this thing to kind of your own... preference, really, which is again another reason why this pedal rules the day. It's so cool, but they are really hard to find now, and they are super expensive, and it's a bit, I don't know why they've gone so crazy in price. Maybe it's because they don't make them anymore, I don't know. But let me show you the side really quick. So here's the intensity dial. Again, totally pointless unless it's on 10.
And there's the switch that you press when it's in. It's the chorus Jimi Hendrix mode, Mike McCready mode. When it's out, it's kind of like a vibrato Stevie Ray Vaughan kind of mode. And it's just a push. There's just a push switch, and that's it. That's it. You can run it off a 9 volt as well. I don't like to run things off 9 volt batteries because I'm thick and I'll forget to change them. But anyway. So there you go, people tube. So that's how you alter the sound of your Rotovibe. If it's not sounding the way you want, tweak and tweeze with these 2 dials. And all you need is a little flathead screwdriver, and you can mess around with it to your heart's content. What I did is I just had it set up, and I put something underneath it and wedged it about halfway. It was about there, give or take. It wasn't fully toe down. It wasn't fully heel down. I kind of wedged it about halfway, just put something between the foot plate and the base plate, and just basically tweak these until I was like, yep, that's the way I want it. I mean, I could probably tweak it to get closer to the Jimi Hendrix Univibe sound I got from a Katana, but I don't really want to mess with it now. I'm happy with it, so it just stays where it is. So yeah, there we go, people of the tube. Okay, so that's it, everybody. If you can get one of these, because like I say, they're hard to find now, and they're also really expensive. I don't know why that is. Like I say, my brand new one was 60 quid when I got it. This one was 40. I think people just don't want to get rid of them, and I can kind of understand that because they are a really awesome pedal. But if you can find one, or if you have one that isn't doing what you want, like I said, there is options out there. But they're really, really cool. They are really, really cool. And I've wanted to do a revisit video to this pedal for a long time, to be honest with you. And I'm glad I finally kind of done it. So I hope this video has been kind of somewhat informative. I hope there's something you can kind of take away from it. I hope, you've enjoyed the noises this thing makes. I hope I've done it some kind of justice with my guitar playing. It wasn't the best today. I do apologise for that. But yeah, so the Dunlop Rotovibe already. Really awesome Univibe. But is its own Univibe, is not kind of like, the standard Univibe, if you will. I don't think so anyway. I don't feel so. And like I say, this is like Mike McCready instead of Jimi Hendrix. It's more Mike McCready Pearl Jam 10 era to me than Jimi Hendrix Machine Gun, if that makes any sense. If that makes any sense. Anyway, do I make any sense most of the time? I don't know. Anyway, also another thing quickly, just to mention, I have done the Jimi Hendrix mod on this thing and took off the rubber feet. Makes it really easy to turn on and off. It's basically just like, it's just like a normal foot switch now. You just turn it on and off. It's so easy. There's no effort put into turning it on. So I would always recommend doing that. These little rubber feet that sit under the foot plate, get rid of them. Pointless. So, yeah. There you go, people of tube. I hope you enjoyed this vid, and I will see you again for another one very soon. Have a great morning, afternoon, good evening. And goodbye now. Thank you very much for watching. Ha ha!